We're going to be talking about Bitcoin news that could potentially change everything. We know that Bitcoin is one of the most well-performing assets in crypto. It was one of the first crypto assets ever created. Well, that is a little bit debatable, but we're not going to get into that lore today. And Bitcoin has just really performed well. It's had a lot of volatility, but it's also had a lot of upside gain, and it's also been a lot more sustainable with longevity than any other crypto project. And we're now in this time where we finally have pro-crypto administration, pro-Bitcoin president, all kinds of things are coming out. Are we going to get a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Are we going to get digital asset strategic reserves? Is the war on crypto and Bitcoin over? It's seeming so. It is. But it seems that there might have been a little change. And I actually don't agree with this take. So let's go ahead and get into the news, cover everything. And I want your guys' thoughts. And this needs to be interactive because I do actually go back and read the comments. Even if it's not live, I go back and I read the comments because your guys' opinion is incredibly important to me. That's how I create content. And also too, if it is a difference of opinion than what I have, I want to know why. And then I want to explore your opinion and see if it makes sense. And it actually might change my mind about things. But anyways, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our channel members. Good morning to all my TikTok babes. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate you guys. To Stray Dog from Rumble, to my Twitch babes, good morning to Mr. Gamer, to D, the O Army members. It's like $4 or $5 a month. You guys should do it. You should do it. Good morning to Mr. John Germain. They're watching me on Memorex, Mr. R, Leski, Alpha Junkies, Gorgeous Alexandra, and again, Mr. R. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you guys smash a like. Don't be stingy, okay? Likes are free. If you can't afford to be a channel member, I get it. Times are tough. The market is tough, but likes are free. Comments are free. Also, too, I don't know if you guys noticed, I got new chairs. I really wanted old 80s vintage style ones, but they're like I remember I used to get these things at the thrift store for like $10, $15. They're want like $2,000 for these things. It says, you know what? Nope. So we got these ones. Hello, everyone from Los Angeles. Woo. All right, I'm going to sneeze. All right, let's get into the news. So let's first talk about Bitcoin. Just do a little bit of history. Bitcoin has outperformed the S&P every single year for the last 14 years. And it basically shows all of Bitcoin's, every single year it's been around. It shows the difference between Bitcoin and gold and S&P. And this is actually a great chart from, good morning, Eric. Good morning, Eric. I know, I want the old ones too, man. But this is an interesting chart, and I actually, I appreciate it. And this is from casebitcoin.com. But it's really interesting to kind of see the comparison between Bitcoin, gold, and the S&P. People assume because the S&P 500 is stocks, because it's traditional finance, because there are regulations, that investing in the S&P 500, investing in stocks, investing in bonds is safe. And you know what? It's not. And the reason why it's not safe is because we're talking about the term investing. When you invest in something, it's essentially gambling, but it is a more refined term for gambling. You are not guaranteed results. You're not. In some cases you are, but in other cases you are not. So I just wanted to point that out. But it's interesting to see gold and gold between Bitcoin and then, of course, the S&P 500. And it looks like the S&P 500 outperformed gold on year 14. So pretty interesting stuff. I like to see it. I like to show people this as well. And there's also 14-year annualized return of around 200% versus the S&P's 10%. So when people talk to me, they're interested in getting into Bitcoin, interested in getting into crypto. All I tell them is I ask them how, I ask for a problem in their lives and we talk about kind of how Bitcoin could potentially solve it or crypto could potentially solve it. But we also talk about diversification. Diversification is incredibly important. It really, really is. And you don't have to be like a diehard XRP fan, Solana, HBAR, Link, Bitcoin, whatever it is. But to understand the importance of the fundamentals of quality projects and be able to practice diversification and remove the cult-like behavior, that's a pretty cool thing, in my opinion. Now, this story over here. Oh, this is from this guy, too. I don't know why we did this twice. All right. So, breaking. The S&P 500 turns negative as the EU says tariffs will remain with little progress made in tariff talks. So the EU expects U.S. tariffs to remain as they have and made little progress in discussions. I actually don't know. I do not know what products we get from Europe. I don't know. But, you know, the market is dumping. That's the S&P. But let's actually go and take a look at Bitcoin. And then I'm going to talk to you about this Bitcoin news that could potentially change everything that I don't agree with. And I don't agree with it. And you guys might be shocked that I don't agree with it, but let me talk about it. Let's go and take a look at Bitcoin to all the tariff news. What's going on with that? So let's go ahead. We'll go to the daily. Bitcoin. Well, let me remove these so I can see better. Okay, we got support here. I'm a little bit tired. I did a pretty hard workout today. All right. So Bitcoin has not been able to break above $87,000. Heck, we haven't been able to even break above the daily openings here for 3/27/2025. So we're just kind of going sideways, which there's nothing really wrong with this. It's good to essentially get consolidation. On the weekly, we're looking okay. But again, we're really going to need to close above the weekly openings. Well, this is the close, but the weekly opening at about $87,000. On the 4-hour chart, it looks like we are heading down. Market CIPHER is indicating that, so we may continue to ping pong. If we lose support at 83,000, we may touch 78,000. Now, moral of the story here, Bitcoin is not really impacted by all of this tariff news today, this week so far. It's really, really not, which is a good thing. We're not getting volatile price action upwards or downwards. As far as Ethereum goes, Ethereum is holding steady on the weekly above $1,500, which is good because, again, if we break down below $1,500, which would be the low over here back in 2023, it's completely over, not good. So fingers crossed. Also, you guys, I'm on Femex. If you would like to trade with me on Femex, everybody can sign up. You get $20 for just signing up. The ref link is down below. Not your keys, not your coins, and no need to use high leverage. If you're somebody who wants to use decentralized exchanges, they have their MEMX platform where you can go ahead and trade whatever it is you want to trade and custody your coins. Now, with Solana is just kind of chilling on the daily in between about 121 and 135. We can move this line up to show the consolidation here. We're kind of flat. Not a whole lot of price action happening with Solana. SUI is actually broke down between 218. I would look for about 201, but again, it kind of depends what Bitcoin does. And XRP is holding really strongly above $2.02, trading at $2.14. Link is broke down below $13, which is good because I want to buy more Link. And we're probably going to continue to consolidate between 13 and 1143. Cardano is also dropping below support as well. HBAR is holding on to support, but we may actually break down below this 15-cent mark if we cannot hold support. Aave is also going back down, but not as volatile as the rest. And the entire crypto market cap is kind of stagnant at about $2.64 trillion. Now, we're going to talk more about tariff stuff, but I do want to talk about this. This is an important story. So this is Pomp, and Pomp has interviewed President Trump. So let's go ahead and listen to this clip together. Or is it Trump that he's interviewing? No, it's the Trump administration. I apologize. But this is a really important clip. And I'm going to explain to you why I don't agree with this. And make sure you guys smash a like, okay? Smash a like, smash a like, smash a like. I'll make sure it's up.
But then I've also seen talk about this idea of, well, maybe there's external revenue that we can drive and be able to use that. And so, like, how are you guys maybe from a framework standpoint thinking about, okay, what are the ways that we could go buy more Bitcoin?
Well, I think that Senator Lummis has really an interesting idea with the Bitcoin Act of 2025, which I know has taken the community by storm. But here, what you would do is you'd revalue the gold certificates that we currently have at Treasury, most of which are valued, I think, around like $43 an ounce, which is,
a lot lower than what it's really worth.
Correct. Yeah. So now we're sitting at what, $3,100 an ounce being the price of gold. And if you took that value, what you could do is use that extra funding in order to buy more Bitcoin that could be used for the reserve. But that's just one idea. And, that's currently circulating its way through Capitol Hill, and we'll see how many co-sponsors she can get and how she can pull her colleagues on board. But we're looking at many creative ways, whether it be from, tariffs, whether it be from something else. I mean, there's literally countless ways in which you can do this. And, I'll defer to, some of our members inside of the interagency working group to see what ideas they come up with inside of their own shops. But we'll look at everything.
Okay. So I disagree with this take 100%. 100%. America is in so much debt right now. And again, I'm very financially conservative. America is in so much debt right now. Using tariff money to buy Bitcoin is idiotic. Okay. If you want to sell the gold certificates, which are at $43, and use those to buy Bitcoin, fantastic. If you want to take the Bitcoin that has been confiscated from people doing naughty things, fine, fantastic. If you want to rebalance budgets or investments that would have been made and use that capital to buy Bitcoin, I love that. I think that's fantastic. But using tariff money is not a good idea. But the reason why I want to say this is because with this whole tariff war, the people that are going to end up getting hurt the most are going to be the small businesses. It's going to be the little guys. It's going to be the folks in China working, all of those things. And again, I'm not going to get into that whole aspect, but it's going to impact a lot of people. Now, the cost of goods and services are going to increase massively if China and America can't come to an agreement. And maybe some of that tariff money should go to support some of these businesses or small businesses or help to offset some of the costs to the consumers. Maybe that's what should be done. But I think just spending money, especially tariff money, I don't think on Bitcoin, I'm sorry. Bitcoin is an investment. Bitcoin is a hedge. Bitcoin is something that you acquire. Well, again, you can use it as a P2P currency. You can use it as whatever it is you would like to use it as. But at the same time, and Mr. Dino Dragon, if you have like an attention span that's like longer than 60 seconds, you can listen. It is kind of urgent. It's important. These are things that we do need to discuss because if the tariff money is going to be used to buy Bitcoin, we were lied to. And we're just going to continue to be in debt. And that's not a good thing. We don't want that to happen. We want America to thrive. Shout out to Zoe from Twitch. But we want America to thrive. We want our children, our future generations to thrive and to do well. And if we're still remaining in debt, we're practicing frivolous spending. Because again, if we cannot afford, like this is the thing, if Americans are having problems paying for basic necessities, food, shelter, and energy, that becomes problematic. So you're going to take money and go buy Bitcoin? To me, it's a stupid take. To me, it's very fiscally irresponsible and it shouldn't be done. They've talked about other ways that they are going to buy Bitcoin, and that's what I voted for, and that's what I want. I don't want more debt. I don't want more debt. I don't. You shouldn't want more debt either. Heck, our taxpayer dollars are going to what? Anyways, let's get back into it. So that was going on with that. Let me see. I think there's a couple other things. Then we got Miss Loomis over here. President Trump says, we heard that. Loomis tells CoinDesk Bitcoin market cap will grow to $200 trillion, 9.5 million per Bitcoin. I'm not going to listen to this because I think that this is stupid. I think it's irresponsible to go on and talk about these. Like, we want to buy, pumping the Bitcoin price is great, but at the same time, we want to be realistic here. And this is not a realistic target, especially in 2025, especially right now when the entire world is going through a tariff war. I get it. It's fun to be bullish. It's fun to talk about all these things, but really? So I don't know. I'm not really interested in that. It's just ghetto. It's like giving all these people hopium that don't need to have hopium about things. Like, people literally just want to cover like basic necessities. But I digress. I guess I'm not a big fancy. I guess I'm not one of these fancy people, these fancy ivory towers. All right, there's a couple other tariff things I just want to get out of the way. I just want to keep you guys updated because it is important. So this is from New York Post, which is funny. China fumes peasants in the U.S. will suffer as country issues stark warning on Trump's shameless tariff war. I don't think the tariff war is shameless. I do think that it is a little bit problematic. And again, it's not just Trump that's doing things. It's the public servants for the last 50 years, really since the 70s, the 80s, that have just taken bad deals and bad policies to better themselves and have completely screwed over the American people. Poor financial policy does not happen overnight. America didn't get in the state that it did overnight. This was policies and decades and decades and decades of poor decisions. So Basically, a top Chinese official criticized Trump's 145% tariffs on Hong Kong goods, calling the move extremely shameless. China retaliated by raising tariff U.S. imports to 125%. He said Trump's tariff war will backfire in the U.S. It could, but it also could backfire in China too, because we are consumers and they're exporters. They send it or they import stuff to us. He called us peasants, which was funny. And from the peasants from the U.S. will soon be crying tears in front of China's 5,000-year-old civilization. He's not really wrong about China being a 5,000-year-old civilization. But again, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we can create our own factories and our own production. And we also have other countries that are willing to help us. But again, China is, the head country that we get our stuff from. And the remark follows J.D. Vance's statement that the U.S. borrows from and buys goods made by Chinese peasants. And that was rude. He shouldn't have said that. But I think that he was referring to the kind of labor things that happen there. So that's just that. That's just that. That's just that. And now we have a partner for today. We've got a partner for today. Shout out to Propy. Thank you so much, Propy, for partnering with the O Show. Everything crypto every single day. So as most of you guys know, real estate is extremely slow and outdated. I have bought and sold properties. I'm currently helping my sister trying to figure out all the paperwork and that type of stuff. And it is slow. It is outdated. And it's just meh. It's not a great experience considering the type of technology we have. And that's why we've got companies like Propy Keys. So they're changing the slow and outdated aspect of real estate and putting real estate on chain, which real estate should be on my chain and on chain, in my opinion. They have a native token called PRO, #PRO, and it powers on-chain real estate transactions like settlements, title transfers, and more. And this would actually be extremely helpful with all of that. Blockchain technology is crucial for titles and recording, and especially when all the cities are just so slow at doing things, especially in Los Angeles County. And there's no banks needed, so this completely removes multiple third-party predators. And their native token Pro is connecting a global real estate community. P2P property sales with Pro are happening now. If you guys are interested, you can earn Pro rewards via Coinbase Quest by learning about real estate on chain. Also, too, Propy is a Made in the USA project. We talk a lot about focusing on Made in the USA projects and doing due diligence, and they are listed on Coinbase. And all you got to do to participate here, you can download the Coinbase app, complete 3 simple tasks, and you can earn their native token easily. So this is what it looks like over here. And again, thank you so much to Propy for partnering with the O Show. Everything crypto every single day. Now, I got to give some shout outs to where they're due, because we talk a lot about Made in the USA projects, and we're going to talk about Hashpack Wallet. And the reason why we're talking about it, because it is an HBAR ecosystem project, and I think that they're freaking awesome. Like, they're a cute little wallet. Like, when I see Hashpack, I need a purple backpack from them. That's what I need. So Hashpack, if you're watching this, please get me a backpack. I need one. But they have, they just updated their to V13.2.0. And the cool thing about it is it supports ERC20 tokens for fungible tokens on Ethereum network, not a cross-chain format. Amazing. Hedera supports smart contracts, including ERC20, like implementation using EVM compatible smart contract service. But the tokens exist only within Hedera's network, which is cool. So you're able to use ERC20 tokens in the Hedera ecosystem, which benefits the Hedera network. And they all say, do not send ERC20 tokens from Ethereum or any other networks directly to your Hashpack wallet. This can result in a loss of funds. Only send tokens that are native to Hedera or bridged properly via a trusted service. So we're seeing a product like Hashpack build that's connecting. And again, the future is cross-chain. The future is being able to utilize multiple different networks super easily. And I think it's freaking awesome. Makes my life easier just thinking about it. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Solana. We'll talk a little bit about Solana. So, big Solana news over here. Solana surpasses all other chains in 24-hour DEX volume for the 4th consecutive day. And again, Solana is beating Ethereum, beating Base, BSC, and Arbitrum, and that's just because things are more affordable to do on Solana. And in addition to that, Canada is readying a spot Solana ETF to launch this week after regulator gave green lights to multiple issuers, including Purpose, Evolve, CL, and 3IQ ETFs. Will include via staking. So Canada has beat the United States of America with crypto ETFs, and they're even doing staking ETFs. Funny how that works. We're still behind on regulation. Still behind. Also, too, centralized exchanges or any crypto service that runs on Amazon Web Services, they can go down, which is unfortunate. But Binance was one of those exchanges that went down, unfortunately. They should be back up now, but that still kind of sucks. And they went ahead and they posted this as we're aware. And the problem with that is some of the orders that people had. And they also said they suspended withdrawal services, which again, this is why we use decentralized exchanges. Also, too, Binance-backed DEX, KyloX suspends operations following 7.5 million exploit. Cybersecurity researchers believe the exploit was due to manipulation of decentralized exchange Price Oracle. I wonder what Price Oracle they have. Do they have Chainlink? Does it say? Okay, hold on. What is a Price Oracle exploit? This is a great article. Okay. Price Oracle are services that provide external data to smart contracts, such as the price of assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or US dollars, effectively acting like a bridge between real-world data and the exchange's blockchain. Peck believes the hackers used this Price Oracle exploit to create positions where Ethereum was initially priced at $100 before closing the position an extremely inflated price of $10,000. Yikes. I wish I could have got Ethereum at that price, sold it at that price. Maybe they're foreshadowing. Anyways, this sucks though. It's not good. Yeah, Price Oracle exploits have been a scourge on the DeFi world. In the past, we saw Mango Markets. They lost 114 million. They relied on a single source for its price data. Let's see who that was, though. Let's see. Oh, this is long. Where the hell is the Oracle, man? I don't care about any of this stuff. Whatever. Also, South Korea, this is a little bit weird. South Korea cracks down on 14 unregistered crypto exchanges on Apple's App Store. The list includes KuCoin, MCXE, Femex, Bitmart, CoinX, Poloniex, Bitrue, Blowfin, CoinW, BTCC, CoinCatch, and ZoomX. This is kind of crazy because these are a lot of really well-known exchanges. That sucks. Also, Google will allow MiCA licensed crypto firms to advertise in the EU. Interesting. I don't like MiCA. It kind of sucks. And since we're on the topic of stablecoins, make sure y'all smash the like too. Standard Chartered expects stablecoin supply to surge to 2 trillion by 2028. This I believe 100%. Standard Chartered's kind of been out of pocket lately, and they've really been talking about. They've been very bullish, which I think it's pretty interesting. But I like it. So really, that's the news for today, guys. It's not super exciting. Not a whole lot of stuff today. It looks like, really the key pieces over here was that the delisting, the key pieces of information over here was the conversation to use tariff money to buy Bitcoin for this Bitcoin strategic reserve. And then the other issue that we talked about today is going to be Solana, but that was a good one. That Canada's beaten US. But anyways, guys, I gotta go. I did legs and glutes today. I'm tired. And I've got like a million effing calls. But anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. But I got a video I'm making for you, so stay tuned for that. 2 or 3 p.m. PST.